You ever notice how the people you want the most somehow trigger the deepest fears inside you? Like one slight delay in the reply, and then suddenly it ruins your day. Or a shift in their tone or in their treatment to you. Suddenly your mind is writing that breakup story. That is anxious attachment. No one tells you this, but anxious attachment starts not just from relationship, but even from your childhood experiences. And as somebody who has suffered from anxious attachment my whole years, I'm going to share some of the helpful tips and guidance that have helped me. And as someone who has studied psychology, here are the five signs that someone might have anxious attachment. Number one, silence feels rejection. Now I get it. For example, when somebody doesn't reply to you within hours, suddenly your mind is overthinking, jumping into every conclusion possible. Suddenly your body goes into panic mode. Number two, you overanalyze every shift. For example, somebody texted you, okay, just okay, and suddenly your mind went several directions, trying to ask yourself what could go wrong. Third, you replay conversations trying to find mistake, even when nothing is wrong. And fourth, you attach quickly and you have a strong fear of losing yourself. Yes, you bond deeply and easily around people, but somehow that scares you because you might get abandoned. And fifth, you feel responsible for fixing everything. You always feel like you're the one who is at fault. You always feel like you have to apologize for something or over explain something when you have an argument with someone. And yes, I do experience all of these signs, but somehow I sense so much compassion to myself, knowing for the fact that these are just phases, that this attachment and these patterns are not forever. It may happen for me for a while, but I know for a fact that it won't happen again. And there's a possibility that it might happen again. But the most important is you know what to do now. So I'm going to tell you what are the things and what are the specific mindsets that I have in order to heal and trying to recover with my anxious attachment. When you're young and in love, your experiences in love tend to be the most intense, especially because it's one of your first. And the people that you met when you were young tend to teach you a lot of things about not just love, but about yourself and what issues that you have. Especially your first ex girlfriend or ex boyfriend have taught you so much about yourself and the issues that you have, which somehow make you think about yourself or even make you think about the importance of being emotionally intelligent. When you grow up understanding that love is conditional, meaning to say you have to perform in order to get the love that you deserve, chances are you tend to be the giving one in the relationship. You tend to be overcompensating. You tend to be the person who has to perform in order to keep the relationship interesting. But no, that needs to stop because real love won't require you to perform a lot. It will require you to sit, behave, and observe and receive the love that you deserve without performing too much. And something that I have learned as anxiously attached person is that I have always stayed alert in most of my previous relationships or attachment with people. I stayed alert knowing that that's just how my mind works. That I always thought of the worst case scenario that somebody might be cheating on me, somebody might do something behind my back, even from not just from my previous relationship, even from my friends or even from my close friends. I tend to think that they will betray me because of that anxiety that's been in my brain and been with my attachment. And that is a pattern. That is a pattern that I need to unlearn in order to improve not just my relationship to these people, but more so and most importantly to myself. And this is exactly how I fixed and somehow manage my anxious attachment. Psychologists say anxious attachment tend to form from inconsistent love and attachment, that your brain stay hyper alert to the emotional changes, especially if your relationships were not that stable. It has always been a mistake if you attach your self-worth to somebody's treatment to you. Like when someone treats you shit or someone doesn't just treat you right, you tend to add that definition to your self-worth, and that is a mistake. Your self-worth by definition must come from you, how you interpret others people's expectations and treatment to you. Now hear me out. When you're old now and you have the cognitive capacity to redefine your self-worth, do it. You are now in charge of how you define your self-worth. Signs that you have low self-worth: number one, you tend to accommodate these casual relationships. You tend to settle with this crazy intense casual relationships which you do not deserve, because why would you even spend a time with somebody who doesn't even treat you right, is not even consistent to you? It's probably enough to make your mental health unstable. If you're old now, you should try to unlearn the patterns that you have, especially if you have a tendency to almost sympathize with casual relationships, because it's never gonna make you feel secure in your future relationships. Secondly, if you're constantly crave for reassurance from someone, you are letting them the power. I just want to let you know that if you constantly crave reassurance from someone, you're giving them the power to influence with your happiness and focus. If somebody doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't even care enough to give you a reassurance that you deserve, let them. Don't crave for reassurance, build it. Because other people won't always be there to give you the word that you want to hear, to give you the emotions that you want to feel. But if you're in charge with how you feel and how you interpret some of the actions the other people have, you won't always crave for reassurance. You tend to give it to yourself and it comes from you. Second way to fix your anxious attachment is surround yourself with emotionally intelligent people. Now, these could be your friends, your close friends, people who will dive deep into the wonders of your emotions, into the darkness of what you feel, into the web of your attachments. And no one who's emotionally intelligent enough will tell you that you're too much or you don't matter or that will invalidate what you feel. Emotionally intelligent people will always say things that would make sense. They always try to understand your position, even if they didn't go through it. Emotionally intelligent people, especially empath, don't need to go through the same shit in order for them to understand someone. There is a term in neuroscience called co-regulation, and that is your nervous system mirrors the people around you or the people that are close to you. So if you're surrounded with people who are dismissive, avoidant, bad for your mental health, that will cause you to feel unstable because your emotional needs are not met. But you heal faster if you're surrounded with people who are emotionally consistent and can actually be good in healing your anxious attachment, because they give you reassurance, they understand the importance of emotions, and you might be easily relating to them. Those are the friends that you need because you need to regulate your emotions in your reality. A good friend is somebody who can give you an advice, and you may not like that advice, but somehow it will help you. That advice won't make sense about your relationship, but it will save you. So some of your friends are actually coming from a rational place. They are seeing outside of your perspective. So there is a need for you to even consider them when someone tells you that you have to be away with this person, that this person is not healthy for you. Somehow you have to believe it because they are seeing how you are being treated. They are seeing how you have been treating yourself. And some of your closest friends have said the most truest words to you, whether you like it or not. It may not something that you would like, but it's surely something that would save you or something that would make sense once you have overcome the person. Tip number three is to over communicate instead of overthink. And that is when you like someone, when you're with someone, when you're attached to someone, somehow you have to tell everything instead of overthinking. You have to ask them, what are we? What happens now? Instead of keeping it all to yourself, because it's sort of like you're dodging a bullet. And it's very hard when you have so much words that you've been meaning to say but left unsaid. It's very important for anxiously attached people to over communicate what they feel instead of like overthinking it. Anxiously attached people, they have a tendency to spiral, especially if they don't communicate. Over communicate instead of keeping resentment. I would rather say everything and lose the person rather than not saying anything. And somehow you have to communicate everything because somehow that is how you check on the person if they have the same depth as you are. if they have the same communication style as you are. And that's when you know if they want to dive deep in conversations. And best believe the people that you want to be with and the people who you deserve are people capable enough of handling difficult conversations, hard, cold conversation. And that involves, very importantly, over communication. Somebody left you unseen, delivered, or didn't communicate anything and then just left, that person is not capable of communication. And those are the most dangerous people to be with, especially for anxiously attached people, because it will trigger their rumination. They will tend to think bad about themselves. They will think that they were the ones who to blame because the relationship did not work out. And anxiously attached people tend to blame themselves a lot because the other person did not give them enough closure or communicate what they feel or what perspective that they have. And this is your reminder that someone you know might have loved you or liked you so much, but you didn't know it because they didn't communicate it to you. Fourth is stop choosing people who activate your wounds. Stop choosing people who activate your old patterns. Freud had a term called repetition compulsion, and that is being attracted to what hurt you because it feels familiar. Like you unconsciously attract the same unhealthy person to you because they feel familiar, like a red flag or somebody who you know is bad for you. You keep attracting them because somehow you have mastered your attachment to them, like your old bad habits with them. Because number one, they are intense, and your mind will always look for something intense. Your attachment, especially if you're anxiously attached, somehow will look for something intense. And this is the pattern that you should recognize because you tend to misinterpret this intensity with real love. Truth is, the butterflies that you feel in your stomach are anxiety, are collective anxieties that you have. And soon enough, you will still be tormented each night thinking about this person. You can't stop thinking about them. And that is one sign that someone is not healthy. Unhealthy for you is that you can't stop thinking about them because they don't give you enough peace of mind. Once you have spot those people, every time that you pick up the call with them or every time that they have viewed your story or that they have texted you, you feel this strong butterflies. Those are the type of people that you don't want to be with, especially if you're anxiously attached. Just let them with the other people. Just let them with the other avoidance as well. But anxiously attached people are meant to be with someone who is secured. Number five is to build a secure identity. A secure identity is a secure attachment. If you're somebody in your whole life, you revolve around the idea of someone, chances are you might be anxiously attached because your source of happiness and your idea of happiness is to be romantically linked with someone. And somehow, in reality, that is bad for you because you have to somehow have less expectations about romantic feelings, have less expectations of having a relationship right away with someone and start focusing the best relationship that you should have, which is the one that you have for yourself. If you don't have a secure identity, chances are you tend to seek admiration, validation from someone. Now, I get that all of us are wired to look for connection. But if you're somebody whose whole definition of happiness is to be romantically linked with someone, you're always going to break your heart. Fill your life with so much experiences and redefine of what love meant. It could be from your platonic relationships, from traveling, from having a small hobbies that you can enjoy. Romanticize your life instead of romanticizing someone. If you have anxious attachment style, your barometer is your anxiety levels. If it goes up, it will show your crazy, obsessive side in the relationship. And that person may not be for you. But if your anxiety levels is at it's stable, the relationship could be healthy, could be predictable. There could be times that it becomes too peaceful and for you it's boring, but the truth is this is safety that you feel for the first time.